One place close to home that'll be celebrating this Friday is the British Consulate in Boston.
And joining us to talk about the festivities is Consul General Dr. Phil Budden. Good morning, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me, Bridget.
Okay, lots of stuff going on.
Oh, there certainly is. We're 2 days out. The excitement is growing. Lots of people are in London for the wedding, but there's also lots of ways to celebrate right here in Boston.
And people have been saying that we're more head over heels about this than in Britain. Is that true, do you think?
There's certainly plenty of excitement here, and it's wonderful as the Brit in Boston to get to see so many people who want to celebrate this wedding.
And there's tons of stuff like up and down Newbury Street, specifically in Boston, that's kind of got this tie-in for us here and the royal wedding there.
Definitely, Bridget. Lots of companies on Newbury Street want to celebrate, including a number of British companies. Jack Wills, the clothier, has Will and Kate mugs. Ted Baker has a variety of party favors, and Hotel Chocolat, the British chocolate company, will be doing special chocolates for the day.
Now, Dr. Budden has 2 daughters. They're going to be staying home from school or not? Have you decided whether to let them?
They may go in a little late. Being half British, they want to see some of the wedding.
It's happening early, so they'll get to school, not too late.
Exactly.
And you've told us to call you Phil, so I'm going to call you Phil and
Please,
say,
Steve.
Talk about the party that you're hosting this Friday. What kind of planning have you put into yours?
Sure. Well, we've decided to host a live watching of the royal wedding at the official British residence on Beacon Hill. So it's an invite-only event. We're trying to keep the numbers containable, but we'll be serving British breakfast there, but also some Dunkin' Donuts heart-shaped donuts. Run by a British CEO, they're producing something special for the wedding, and we'll be very happy to have Dunkin' Donuts and their coffee.
They've been selling those heart-shaped royal wedding donuts with the jelly filling in the center.
What is an official British breakfast?
Well, we've decided to go with cups of tea, of course, which will be served on Her Majesty's China, which we have at the British residence. There'll be some coffee as well for our American friends. And we'll have strawberries and cream and jam, jelly in American, and scones.
And having met the Queen, how many years ago was this?
This was in 2007 when she came to Washington.
What do you think she thinks of all of this?
I think she's thrilled that the world will be watching the wedding of her grandson. I think it's going to be a very exciting event.
She has to be imagining going back to her own wedding and then her son's wedding, which was with someone with whom perhaps she wasn't as comfortable as she is with Kate. Can you trace the evolution of custom and changing styles?
Sure. Well, I think one thing that people will see with the wedding on Friday morning, Steve, is great continuity. This is going to be a fabulous British event with great pomp and ceremony, lots of historical elements that I'm sure the commentators in London will pick out. But in some ways as well, this will be a very modern wedding. This is a very modern couple, and I think it'd be well worth watching.
And
Go ahead,
sorry,
Britt.
I was going to say, do you think that the modern twist is a good thing, or is it kind of bad to stray from the real tradition that there is with the royal family?
I think Britain, like New England, is a wonderful combination of both history, tradition, and innovation. And I think people will be watching to see what's new, what with the dress, what with the wedding. I think it'll be very exciting.
During the commercial, Bridget asked you about your own sense of what the proper protocol is when you were going to meet the Queen the first time. And it seems to me that there's some really high-level manners that even the ordinary, British citizen is sitting there going, I didn't know that.
I think this whole royal wedding has been a great opportunity for people to rediscover diplomatic protocol and royal protocol, calling Her Majesty her ma'am, rhyming with ham.
Ma'am like ham.
But here in Boston, we're going to be very relaxed at our event at the British residence, and then there's a public event at the Old State House from 12 to 2 on Friday that all are welcome to come and see, and we'll recap some of the parts of the wedding.
Any special attire for that?
No, any people can wear whatever they like. That'll be from 12 to 2. Some people will dress up. I've heard that some people coming to the residence event will be in their wedding finery. I think it's a great way for people to celebrate in whatever manner they see fit.
So there, people just saw how they can go and participate. It's quite gracious of you to welcome people that way to the Old State House. Our Tom Langford, you've invited him to join you at the British Consulate.
I have indeed. I've brought his invitation, which he will need.
At his invitation?
You certainly may. He need that invitation to get into the residence on the Friday morning. We look forward to welcoming him and many other people to the residence.
Anything he ought to wear?
He can come in a business suit, that's fine. If he wants to dress up in morning suit, that's also fine.
So nicer attire.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil Budden, British Consul General, thanks for joining us on the morning show.
Thank you for having me on, Steve.
Look forward to Friday. And tomorrow morning on the morning show, our royal coverage continues. We'll be joined by a security expert to talk about how to protect an event as important as the royal wedding. And of course, Tom Langford is heading to the Taj to take in some British tea.
I've got his invitation right here. More news still ahead.